وعليكم
وعليكم
السلام
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
وعليكم السلام
عليكم السلام
ورحمة
ورحمة الله
الله
وبركاته.
وبركاته.
For some reason, the camera is not working, so you might not be able to see me, but I'm here. Okay, mashallah, there are almost 11 people, and maybe people will still join. So we'll just give them a minute or so. But in the meantime, how's everyone doing?
الحمد لله.
الحمد
Alhamdulillah.
لله.
Alhamdulillah, after a long break, we are excited and re-energized to start our Arabic lessons.
إن شاء الله.
So, yeah, the sound today. Sound is good?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم
Assalamu
السلام.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, brother Yaqub?
Alhamdulillah, brother Abid.
Good to have you here.
Good. Thank you.
Alright, so let's see. Mashallah, 14 people so far. So what are we going to do? Inshallah, we'll start. As people are joining, we'll inshallah continue. So first thing first, let me start the presentation. Technical challenges this morning. Okay. How do I do this? Okay. I'm gonna stop share for a second and then start again. Go here. Hide floating controls. Okay, here. Okay, so نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى إن هدى الله هو الهدى وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خيركم من علم القرآن وعلمه صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله الكريم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعل لي waj'alhu li imaman wa nuran wa huda wa rahmatan waj'alhu li hujjatan ya rabbil alamin. Amin. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. So I'm assuming here that most of you are from our previous class, but there could be one or two people who just joined for the first time, like Brother Fahad. Am I saying your name right, Brother Fahad?
Yes, that's correct, brother. And I am joining for the first time. Yes.
First time, right. So just for the benefit of Brother Fahad, I'm just going to give a very brief introduction so that he's on board with us. So Jazakallah khairan for joining Brother Fahad. So here is a little introduction about me. My name is Abid Ali. I'm a software engineer by profession, and like an average Muslim, I've been striving to learn Arabic language, and the only purpose was to improve myself in connecting with the Quran. And then it so happened that I decided to share this little bit of knowledge, whatever I have, with my brothers and sisters in Islam. And the only intention is to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the hereafter. So a disclaimer is that I am not a scholar nor a sheikh, just a common man like all of us, and I'm just trying to learn few things and share with as I learn. So a big jazakallah khairan for everyone who trusted me with this, and most of the students in this class right now, they have been with me even with for more than a year, or some of them has been with me for more than 2 years. So for them, alhamdulillah, things are working out, and we have covered a lot of stuff. So joining this class first time, it could be challenging in a way that some of the basic discussions we have done already, you might not be familiar with it, or if you have taken these classes somewhere else, so maybe you are on board with us. But we'll work with you and everybody else to go as a team, and our goal is not to leave anybody behind. And all the sessions so far has been recorded, so if you need to catch up or look at other material, those are all available in the YouTube. So with that, the motivation for me are three, and one of them is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he said that the average life of my ummati is 63 years of age. What that means, that anything after 63 is like a bonus, right? Now I'm at the stage where I am like very close to that 63. I'm at 53 or 54. Alhamdulillah. So I decided that if this is the case, why waste time and why not start doing something which will benefit me and the people around me? So that is one of the motivation, that life is slipping out of our hand. Whatever time is left, let's use it for the best of the people around you. The second motivation is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The best of you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it to others." So we are trying to follow this hadith as well, and we are not at the level where we can teach the Quran, but we are trying to learn it ourselves by learning the language of the Quran, and then in the process we're also sharing that knowledge with others. So in some category, we are trying to fulfill the requirement of this hadith, and may Allah accept it from us. And the third thing is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Convey from me, even if it is only one verse." So if each one of us follow this rule and this guidance, then we will not hold the information to us only. Yes, right? So whatever little knowledge we have based on this hadith, if we start sharing with other people, we can do a lot of good. So with these motivations, alhamdulillah, I'm inviting or welcoming all of you to join me in this journey and be part of my team. And let's not worry about that whether we are learned or not, or are we gonna get it or not. We just put our best effort forward and let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us and guide us. And so far, alhamdulillah, the people who have been experiencing these classes, they can testify that things are working for them, inshallah. Yes, can I agree? Can we all agree on that?
Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our humble efforts and protect us from all kind of sins, including hypocrisy, pride, and show off. So these are the few things we want to stay away from. And with that, inshallah, let's talk about what are we going to discuss in this class. Okay. So the people who are joining me after 3-4 weeks of break, the last session we did was about verbs. Yes. Yeah. Some interaction, some feedback.
Yes,
So
yes.
Yes.
the verb, right? And in the verbs, we looked at introduction to fi'l madi, fi'l mudari, and then we also looked at a lot of things about them. And we learned how to make the tables, and the tables in Urdu language is known as gardan, but in English language we call it conjugations. Conjugations mean we have a 3 root letter verb, and we learn how to form them into different patterns. Yes.
Yes.
So after the 12 sessions of in-depth knowledge of that chapters, now we are going into another category of verbs. They are known as weak verbs. What are they known as? Weak verbs. So we
Weak
learned
verbs.
the strong verbs or the normal verbs in the last 12 sessions. And in this following 6 sessions, we will continue learning about the weak verbs, applying the same rules we have already learned. Is that good? Good information so far? Like what
Yes.
we are trying to do? Okay. I'm trying to start my camera, but looks like it's not working. I don't know what happened here. I was just playing with it and it just stopped working on me. Yeah. Now, if I stop this meeting and I come back, maybe it will start working. So don't go anywhere. Can I just quickly leave the meeting and join again?
Yes. We are
Yes,
online.
inshallah.
Alhamdulillah.
But before I do that, I gotta make somebody a co-host. Otherwise, this meeting will end for all of you. Okay. So I see Brother Naseeb here. I'm going to make him a co-host for a second. Okay. So Brother Naseeb, you there with me?
I'm here.
I'm going to make you co-host. The meeting will continue. I will end it for myself and then I'll rejoin, inshallah. Okay. So I'm end leave meeting and assign Naseeb Ali as. Okay, I'm back. So, Brother Naseeb, if you can make me a host again, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Jazakallah khair. Okay, let's see if the video going to work now. Oh, Alhamdulillah, it's working. So, if I share the screen now, there you go. Is it better this way?
Yes, much better. We
At
can
least you can
see
see
your Nurani Chehra now.
Nurani Chehra. Jazakallah khair. Okay, so let's go back to our lecture. We were right here. Okay, why is it not doing my sharing now? Okay, all right. Come on, don't do this. What's going on here? Okay. All right. Okay, so we were right here. So we are talking about weak verbs. So how do we decide or how do we get to that part that this is a weak verb or this is a strong verb or sound verbs? So if we think about the basis of number of root letters, how many root letters we have in verbs in 99%?
3.
3. But 1% there are 4 root letters. Okay. How many root letters? 4.
4.
99.9% almost are 3 root letter verbs, but there are also exist called 4 root letter verbs. So if we categorize the verbs based on the number of root letters, what kind of category we have? 3 root letters and 4 root letters. Now, what is the Arabic for 3? Salasa, right? Salasa is 3. So we
3.
call them the 3 root letter Salasi verbs. What do we call them? Salasi. Now, Ruba is the number 4. Like in Arabic, we say 4, we say Ruba. So any verb which has 4 root letters is known as Rubai. What are they known as? Rubai. So Salasi and Rubai. So if we count the number of root letters, we will have 2 categories: 3 root letter verbs and 4 root letter verbs. Agree? The second criteria is on the basis of tense, the time. So what we have learned, that the verbs could either be past tense or they can be
present and future imperfect.
Future tense. So far with me on that?
Yes.
You know, some of the noise is coming from the background. I can hear somebody working in the kitchen. Maybe they can mute themselves for now. Let's see. So I can't tell who is that person, but if you guys can mute yourself for a little bit, then maybe you can talk when you want to talk and unmute yourself. Okay. So on the basis of tense, we have 2 kind of verbs: the perfect verbs, which is Madi, and the present and future tense, which is the imperfect tense. So far with me, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on the basis of the root letters, we have Sahih Afwal or we have Ghair Sahih Afwal. And if we give them an English name, we can call them sound or we can call them unsound. Is that clear?
Yes.
So what are we looking at in this course? The Ghair Sahih Af'al. The sound one we already covered.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the criteria of finding out what is an unsound verb? When there are three situations, if you have those situations, you can tell that this is a weak verb or unsound verb, or another name for that will be defective verb. What is it going to be? Defective verb. Okay. Now, before I get into that, let me quickly take you to the camera and let's go over some of the previous stuff we have been learning. Okay. So when we're dealing with verbs, how do we divide the verbs into Madi and Mudari?
Madari.
Yes? Agree? Okay. And our basic pattern for learning the verbs is Fa'ala. Everybody remembers that?
Yes.
That Fa'ala is our basic pattern to learn everything about verbs. Yes? And when you talk about Fa'ala, you have the 3 root letters. Fa, Ain, Lam. Yes? So when you put them together, and this is the pattern of Fa'ala, then you know that this Fa is the Fa kalima. Yes? This is review, by the way.
Yes.
The letter Fa is known as the Fa kalima. Or in English, we will say the Fa letters. Yes?
Yes.
The Ain is called the Ain kalima, and we call it Ain letter.
Ain
right?
letter.
And the Lam is the Lam kalima, and we call it Lam
Letter.
Lam letter. Right? So this is the position. Position number 1, position number 2, position number 3. So far with me?
Yes.
Okay. So when we get that, we know the pattern. Then we also know that the Madi has 14 variations. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. And the Mudari also has 14 variations. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And how do we get them? Because they are attached with a noun, like a pronoun, right?
Yes.
What did that mean? When we are talking about a third person, then the gender could be male or female, yes?
Yes.
The number could be singular, dual, or plural.
Plural.
Yes. So how do we make those transformations? So fa'ala is siga number 1, right? Fa'ala is number 1. Yes.
Number 1.
Yes. Fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu. What is the meaning of fa'ala? He did.
He did.
Now, when it's Madi, we are talking about something happened in the past. And this fa'ala is with the alif in there, right? Fa'ala, fa'ala. Fa'alu, they two male did. Fa'alu, all the male did. Yes?
Yeah.
All more than two
All did.
male did. For the female, it was fa'alat. Remember? It used to be fa'alat. Fa'alata, fa'alna. For the second person, which means you and you all, it used to be for male, fa'alta. You did. You one male did, correct? Fa'altuma, you two male did. Fa'altum, you all male did. When you want to say the same thing about you, but a female, you say fa'alti, right? Fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna, right? And when you want to do it for first person, you say fa'altu, fa'alna. Agree?
Yes.
Anybody has any questions about this? Because this is just a review, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, good. So when you do Madi, you say fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altuma, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna.
Fa'alna.
Yes. When you do the same pattern in Mudare, you say yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'alun,
Yaf'aluna.
taf'alu, taf'alani, yaf'alna. Okay. Taf'alu, taf'alani, taf'aluna, taf'alina, taf'alani, taf'alna. Af'alu, naf'alu. Making sense?
Yes.
Okay. So why did I show you this? Because this is what we have covered in those last 12 sessions. And this is the bare minimum you need to know about them, correct?
Yes, we did practice a lot about this.
Yes, Alhamdulillah. So
And we
any
still-
questions?
Because we applied all these.
Yes, sisters and brothers, other than one or two people who are talking to me, because if we don't refresh our memory, the next thing I'm going to tell you is not going to happen. So are you guys with me? Everybody's with me so far?
Yes.
Sister Jahan, are you good?
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Brother Javed?
Alhamdulillah, yes.
Okay, good. So with this knowledge in mind, let me take you to the next step. Okay. So based on the verbs, we have two types. What are those? Sahih afal, Sahih afal, the sound ones, and the ghair Sahih afal. Follow?
Yes.
We can call them non-sound words. How do we recognize them? How do we recognize that a verb we are dealing with is a ghair Sahih? Okay. If there is a Hamza, the root letters, if there is a Hamza in the root letters, then you know that this is a weak verbs. Agree?
Yes.
if there are two letters repeat in the three root letters, if two of the letters repeat, then we know that this is a unsound verb. Yeah. And did we talk about the weak letters in the previous session, that alif, waw, and ya are known as weak letters? Correct? Yeah. So if the root letters have any of these letters, alif, waw, ya, or waw, ya, then we know that this is a weak verb. So what is the criteria number one? That there is a Hamza, there is a repeat letters, and there are weak letters. Alif, waw, or ya. Okay.
Brother
So,
Abid, we will not include Hamza in weak letters. Alif, Waw, Yi, and
no.
Hamza.
No, Hamza is not a weak letter. The weak letters are three. And some people only consider waw, the letter waw and ya as the weak letters.
Okay.
Yeah. But alif is also part of the weak letters. Okay. So on the basis of the root letters, we call them sound verbs or unsound verbs. Sahi afal or ghair sahi afal. In the root letters of any verbs, on the position of fa kalima, ain kalima, or lam kalima, if there is a hamza, we know that it is a weak verb. Agree on that?
Yes.
So what are you looking for? Hamza. And can the hamza occur on the fa letter and the ain letter and the lam letter? Possible. Anytime you see that, you're gonna tell me that this verb is a weak verb. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. The second condition is if any root letters comes twice, and I'm gonna give you examples so that you know. But before I show you the example, I'm trying to create a picture in your mind that what to expect. Or any weak letter, that is ya or waw, comes, then that verb is called ghair sahi fail or unsound fail. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. So let's take a look at this. They have names, and I'm gonna cover those names later, but right now just focus on the screen and see what I'm showing you. So the first category is Hamza. Yes. What are the three root letters you see? Hamza, Mim, Ra. What do we see? Can somebody repeat after me? Hamza.
Yes.
Meme, Ra.
Hamza, Mim, Ra.
Ra. So then when you have a root letter which has Hamza in it, those kind of words are known as mahmuz. What are they known as? Mahmuz. From Hamza. Now, when we remember in the previous course, when we said something is rafa, then we call it marfu. Agree?
Yes.
Is that part? Okay. So similarly, when some root letters or some verb has a Hamza, we call it mahmuz. Okay. Now, am I expecting you to memorize these names? No. But is it a good idea to remember them or recognize them? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So right now, I'm not going to focus on you to focus on the names, but try to keep it in the back of your mind that it is important to know what mahmuz means. So anytime if I say mahmuz, you know we are dealing with the Hamza. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now look at this. Then we have Sin, Hamza, Lam. Agree? Now
Yes.
look at the next one. Qaf, Ra, Hamza. Now in the first root letters, what is the position of Hamza?
First.
First, Fa kalima. Agree?
Yes.
Mahmudul Fa.
Right? So I showed you those, the Ain kalima, the Fa kalima, the Lam kalima for a reason. So I'm asking you to recognize that a Hamza in the root letters could occur at the Fa kalima or the Ain kalima or the Lam kalima.
Lam
And these
kalima.
are the three examples I'm showing you. Hamza, Mim, Ra. In this example, Hamza is at the Fa position.
Kalima.
Fa kalima, mashallah. And in the Seen, Hamza, Lam, the Ain, the Hamza is at the Ain position. Agree?
Yes.
Ain position.
Okay. Qaf, Ra, Hamza, the Hamza is at the Lam
Lam
position.
position.
So it is basically very simple, and it's a very interesting topic. And next time when you read Quran, you will see the frequency of the unsound verbs in the Quran is very, very frequent. It is everywhere. Everywhere you will go, you will find these verbs. Understand? So once you have the knowledge of these verbs, inshallah, you will enjoy reading Quran more, and you will have more understanding why certain things are a certain way. Okay, so let's go to the next level. Remember I was saying the second category is that one of the root letter will repeat. Okay, let's look the examples. So if I say salus or sulus, what is the root letter here? Sa. And what is the root letter here? Ta. Is it repeating? Do we see two root letters? Yes. So that is also the indication that if the root letters, the letter repeat itself, it is going to be a weak verb or ghair sahi afwal. Okay. Now look at the next example. Babbar or
Brother
babar.
Abid, slus is not a verb, isn't it? It is 1/3. Slus is 1/3.
Yes.
1/3 will be called as a verb.
Okay, maybe let's not go in there, but right now focus. If there are 3 root letters and the 2 of the letters repeat, that is what we are talking about right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So in this case, I'm saying that this root letter repeated twice, one in the beginning and one at the end. Okay, let's stick with that for now. We're trying to build the concept, then we'll go into the details. The second letter or the second root letter I told you, there is a double ba here, ba and ba. Yes.
Abar.
Okay, and look at this one, madad. We know madad, right? Yes. Now what happened here? The root letter had here and then at the end, fa kalima and the ain kalima. Agree?
Yes.
But is repeating in the same word, right? What happened here? Is it in the first fa letter and the ain letter?
Yes.
And look at this one. Is it the ain letter and the lam letter?
Yes.
So in these situations, when you have the root word or the root letter repeating, and in it could be in any place. It could be right next to each other in the beginning, or it could be right next to each other at the end, or it could be a little bit apart. Like we have the first one, then we have the lam, and then we have the second one. Agree?
Yes.
Okay, I need to hear other people saying that they are also with me. Why can't I hear Sister Homa today? Where is Sister Homa?
Yes.
Oh, Brother Shah Abdul Sahab. Very good. So, Sister Homa, are you with us today?
Yes, Salaam alaikum. Yeah, I'm listening. Thank you.
Okay, you're following the thing I'm trying to tell here?
Yes.
Okay. So, when you want to identify the weak verbs, you're going to look for Hamza in the root letters. And if you find it in the fa kalima or the ain kalima or lam kalima, you know that that verb is going to be a weak verb. Yes? If you come across 3 root letters and 2 of them are repeating, then you also know that is a weak verb. Okay? The third one is called mu'attal. What is it called? Mu'attal. Mu'attal is from alil. You know? Alil is what? In Arabic and Urdu, what is the meaning of alil?
Bimar.
Bimar, sick. Yes? Or weak. So something who is
Bimar,
weak
yes,
is called mu'attal. Okay? And mu'attal means that the root letters have the weak letters in them. What are the weak letters we talked about? Wow and ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also know that alif is also a weak letter.
Brother,
Yes?
can we pronounce that mu'attal or mu'tala? Mu'tala.
Yeah, you're right. It's mu'tal. Okay, it's mu'tal. Sorry, not I pronounced it wrong. Okay, so jazakallah for correcting. So look at this. Waw, ain, dal. Which is the weak letter?
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow is the weak letter, correct? And which position is wow here? Kalima. Look at this one. Ya, sin, ra. Which is the weak letter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which position?
Fa kalima.
Kalima. MashaAllah. What is this? Qaf, wow, lam. Or qaf. Where is the weak letter?
Ain kalima.
Ain kalima. Okay, mashallah. Ba, ya, ain. Where is the weak letter?
Ain kalima.
Ain kalima. Mashallah. Then dal, ain, wow. Where
Lam
is the
kalima.
weak letter?
Lam.
Lam
In the
kalima.
lam kalima. Mashallah. And ha, dal, ya. Where is the weak letter?
Lam kalima.
Lam kalima.
Inshallah. So what are we doing? We are just basically identifying that these three kind of letters or verbs or these root letters, they can occur in any of the fa kalima, ain kalima or lam kalima. Doesn't matter where they appear. They can make the verb from sound to ghair sound or unsound. Is the big picture? Are you getting the big picture? What am I trying to do here?
Yes.
Yes, alhamdulillah. Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Because today my only goal is to get the understanding in our minds that what are we trying to do. And then in these 6 sessions, we will take one at a time. Like we will work on mahmuz, then we will work on mudaf, and then we will work on the mu'attal. And then these 6 sessions will go all about their details. So today, in our mind, the picture should be the moment I say unsound verbs, defective verbs, or in Arabic, if I say ghair sahih afal, you are thinking about Hamza in a root word or the root letters. You are thinking about 2 root letters repeating, or you are finding a weak letter in one of the root letters, and they could be at any position. It could be in the fa position, ain position, or lam position. So far, if that concept is making sense, we are alhamdulillah, winning already. Yeah?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Good job. Okay. So, as I said, when you have these kind of situations, Arabic grammar has a name for all of them. And we will learn them as we go along. I am just throwing at you the different things. And inshallah, by the time we finish the 6th session, we will know them in more detail. So when you have the weak letter at the fa kalima position, those kind of verbs have a name called mithal. What is the name of those kind of verbs? Mithal.
Mithal.
Okay. When you have the weak letters at the ain kalima, the name is ajwaf. What is the name? Ajwaf.
Ajwaf.
And when you have the weak letters and the lam kalima, they are known as naqis.
Naqis.
Yes. Okay. Are they hard to remember? I don't think so, right? It's not very hard.
No, just matter of practice.
But inshallah, practice will make you.
Mithal and naqis is easy to remember.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, because we know the meaning.
Okay. Ajwaf, maybe let's think a little funny here. Remember the Russian president Gorbachev?
Yes.
Okay, we call Ajwaf Gorbachev. How's that? Yeah. If I say Gorbachev, you know that the weak letter is Ain Kalima. He also used to have the map of the word on his head, if you remember.
Naqis.
Okay. Anyways, getting back to the lecture. Now look at this. Ra, wow, ya. Do we see the 2 weak letters right next to each other?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And lam
Very
kalima.
good. So now look at this one. Wow, qaf, ya. Do you see now there is a letter in between them, but they're far apart? Okay.
And lam kalima.
So there could be a situation where they could be right next to each other, or they could be different from, or they're distant from each other. Yes? So for them, the name is Lafif.
Lafif.
What is the name for that? Lafif.
Lafif.
Now the Lafif has 2 types. One which is makroon. Makroon mean they are right next to each other. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And the other name is mafrook. Mafrook
Mafrook.
mean there is something in between. अगर मैं मफरूक को कहूँ फर्क, उर्दू में फर्क का क्या मतलब होता है कि they are different. Yes?
Different.
So something like that. So this is the terminology. We have mahmuz, meaning we are dealing with Hamza. We have muda'af, meaning we are dealing with two
Repeat.
letters of same kind in the three root letters. And when we say mu'tal, we are dealing with haruf illa. Haruf illa, the weak letters, which is waw and ya, and some of the grammar also says alif is also a weak letter. So far with me?
Yes.
Yes.
So misal is the one when the weak letter is in the fa position. Ajwaf is when the weak letter is in the ain position. And naqis is when the weak letters are in the lam position. And if they are right next to each other, then they're called lafif, and they will be called lafif makroon. Or if they are if there is a gap between them, they will be called mafrook. Okay.
Lafif makroon.
Yes. Now let's look at one more thing.
So, sorry, brother. Abid.
Yes, sister.
So what's the difference between that lafif, lafif mafrook and the misal? So that also has wow. It's like the first one, which is in misal, wow ain dal, and the lafif also have wow qaf. Yeah. So what's the difference?
The difference is in misal, the weak letter only came once. Wow ain dal. But look at this. Ra, wow, first weak letter, ya, the second weak letter.
Oh, so it has two. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So the difference between these is that sometimes the two weak letters can be combined in a root words. Yes, or root letters.
Yeah.
And they could be right next to each other. Like in this case, they will be called lafif makroon. And if there is a gap in between them, there is a qaf in between, that will be called lafif mafrook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Got it? Everybody is on the same page. Yes.
Lafif mafrook.
Yes. So when we have misal, ajwaf, and naqis, then there is another terminology. If there is waw, then we call it misal wawi. What we call it?
Misal wawi.
Misal wawi. Because over here, is there waw in here?
Yes.
Yes. So we will call it even more, another distinction, another name. We will say this verb is misal wawi.
Wawi.
Got it? Wawi mean it has a waw in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just simple terminology. Okay. And then if there is a ya in the misal, then we will call it misal yai.
Misal yai.
So far so good?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a game. If I tell you we are playing Monopoly, then you have to learn the rules of Monopoly, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So when we call ajwaf, if there is waw, then we call it ajwaf wawi, or if there is a ya, then we say ajwaf yai. Got it?
Yeah.
Yes.
If we are dealing with naqis, and if there is a
Naqis
waw,
wawi, naqis yai.
naqis wawi, naqis yai. Any tension here?
No.
No, but do we have to remember these names like misal, ajwaf, naqis?
Sister Homa, for me, if you don't want to remember this, I have no problem. Okay. But these are good things to know if you really want to advance in your future, goals of learning Arabic. Yes, keep them in your vocabulary, but do you need to know 100%? Maybe not at the moment, but after 6 sessions, they may come to you naturally. Yeah. So if I say we're dealing with misal, so you will say, what is misal? Oh, in misal, the weak letters is at the fa position. This is how I put it in my head. Yes?
Yes.
And if it's a waw, it's a misal wawi. If it's a misal with the ya, then it's misal yai. Yeah? If it's mahmuz, Hamza. Mahmuz mean Hamza. Hamza could be in the fa position, ain position, or lam position. Muda'af, it is a letter which is repeating itself. It could be right next to each other, or it could be at the end, or it could be separated by some other letter in between. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. So inshallah, we're still building our mental blocks. This is not the first time we are doing this. We will continue to do this until we are 100% comfortable with it. Agree?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So now let's not get into this takhfif and other things. I'm going to come back to it. But right now, I wanted to show you this, that now you must be asking in your mind, then why do we have to learn these weak verbs? Is anybody thinking about that?
Yes.
Then why do we have to worry about these weak verbs? Why can't we just stick with the sound ones and move on?
They don't have a same conjugation.
They don't have same what?
Same conjugation as the sound
Right,
words.
right. Brother Fahad, you're right. So Brother Fahad is saying that they do not have the same conjugation. Now, did I say the word conjugation earlier when I was showing you the review?
Yes.
What do we call
Gardan and
conjugation?
Gardan
In
and
Urdu?
conjugation.
Gardan. What is Gardan? Gardan is this. When you say fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altuma, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna. Now this is the Gardan for what? Madi, for past tense.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I give you 3 root word, za, ha, ba, can you make the Gardan of zahaba? You will say zahaba, zahaba,
Yep.
zahabu, zahabat, zahabata, zahabna, zahabta, zahabtuma, zahabtum, zahabti, zahabtuma, zahabtunna, zahabtu, zahabna. Now, is zahaba a sound verb or unsound verb?
Sound.
Sound.
Sound word.
So in the sound verb, did I had to worry about any change? No. I put the zahaba into fa'ala and my conjugation did not change. You understand now?
Yes.
Think what I'm saying. The reason you have to learn the unsound verbs, because when you do the conjugation, they can change in the table. Like the 14 variations can take a different look and feel. Versus in the sound verbs, once the pattern is made, doesn't matter what are the root words or letters, the pattern will not change. It will always be fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu. Making sense?
Yes.
Who got this point? Who understand this point, what I'm saying here?
Yes, I got it.
Brother, can you repeat it?
Okay. Why do we have to learn weak verbs? The answer is, when you are dealing with sound verbs, which is the other verbs, like where we have no Hamza, no repeat letters, and no weak letters in the root words. Are you with me on that, Brother Afzal, so far?
Yes.
Ji. Yes.
Okay. So when you don't have those situations, the pattern for all 14 conjugations stays the same always. Follow?
Correct.
But in the weak verbs, that pattern could change because of those Hamza, those repeat letters, or the weak letters. And when I show you the examples, then you will understand what I mean by that.
Sure.
So
Jazakallah
on the
khair.
top level, everybody should understand this, that the reason we are learning the weak verbs, because when we do the conjugation, they could change. They could take a different path from the standard conjugation. Everybody clear on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So let me see what I can show you next. All right. So this is the conjugation for the fi'l mudari. Yafalu, yafalani. I've already shown you that. Now, in our subject, we are going to deal with mahmuz first. So today we're going to focus on mahmuz, and then in the next session, inshallah next week, we are going to repeat all this information until we get very comfortable feeling. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's look what we are trying to say here. We are saying that the English name for al-Failul Mahmuz, or the name for Mahmuz in English, is Hamzated verbs. What is the meaning of Hamzated verbs? That there is a Hamza in there.
Yes.
Okay, this is the English version they come up with. They call it Hamza-ated verbs. Okay, so verbs with Hamza as initial, meaning fa letter, middle, ain letter, or final lam letter, they are known as al-Failul Mahmuz. What are they known as?
Al-Failul Mahmuz.
And what is the short name? Mahmuz. Short name is Mahmuz, and then the long name is al-Failul Mahmuz. Brother Murad, are you with me?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Are you with me so far with the concept, or we are?
Yes.
If you check out, if somebody is feeling lost, stop me. We will go back, and trust me, inshallah, we're gonna say it so many times that you can even remember it in your sleep. Inshallah, you'll be dreaming about Mahmuz tonight. Yes, brother Tariq. Okay. So Hamza is a consonant. Hence, it can be the initial or first radical. For example is akala. Have you seen this word in the Quran? Akala.
Yes.
Is the Hamza, because Hamza is also written with an alif, correct?
Yes.
But then there is haraka on it, right? So
it is also in
yes.
Surah Tabarak al-Ladhi, Surah Mulk. Amintum man fi samai an
Okay. So Jazakallah khair. Akala, meaning of akala is to eat. Yes. Is it in the fa kalima position?
Yes.
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 And do we have akhaza? Is it also in the fa position?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the meaning of akhaza is to take.
Yeah.
Now, if I ask you, is this a sound verb or unsound verb? What are you going to say?
Unsound.
Unsound. Why? Because there's Mahmuz.
The Hamza.
There is a Hamza there. Yes. Now, what is it? What are they saying? In the past tense conjugation, there is no change. What are they saying?
Yeah.
In the past tense conjugation, there is no change. So they're going to follow the pattern of fa'ala. Yeah. So past tense conjugation of Amina is as stability below. Let's look at it. We have a word called Amina. Amina, Amina, Aminu. Amanat, Aminata, Aminna. Right? Aminta, Amintuma, Amintum. Aminti, Amintuma, Amintunna. Amintu, Aminna. Do we find any difference in there?
No.
No.
No, right? That means they're saying when you're dealing with Mahmuz, how do you make those conjugation? So they're saying when you have the Fi'l Madi conjugation for Fi'l Mahmuz, there is no change in the past conjugation. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take a look at other. We have the Mudare will be Ya'manu, Ya'manani, Ya'mununa. Ta'manu, Ta'manani, Ya'manna. Right? Ta'manu, Ta'manani, Ta'manuna. Ta'minina, Ta'manani, Ta'manna. Amanu, Na'manu. Na'manu. Have you seen these words in the Quran?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's take more look. I want to get to this a little bit later. So let me stop it here and show you something here just to give you more into this. That what is the classification of the verb into sound and defective? Okay, defective mean ghair sahi, unsound, fail. Okay, Now, if you can read the Arabic, it says Taqsimul Faili ila Sahihun wa Mu'attal. Meaning, Sahi, al-Failul Sahi is the sound verb. Is the word where the root letters are all sound. That is, they are not from the defective letter. They're not from the Huruf Illa. What are the Huruf Illa? Wow and Ya. Okay. And we also know that there is the verb do not have any defective letter. Moreover, it is free of Hamza or a repeating letter or a letter being doubled. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So then look at the defective verb. The defective verb is one in which one or more of the root letters are defective. That is, they are the Huruf Illa. Okay. For example, in Wajada, do you see the Waw as a weak letter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it in the Fa position?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
What about Yasara? Is the Ya there?
There is a Ya there.
Ya there. And Yakiza, do you see the Ya there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are they in the Fa position?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And what do we name them?
Misal,
Al-Misal.
misal Yai.
Al-Misal, right? Okay. There are three defective letters, Huruf Illa in Arabic. Ya, Waw, and Alif. Have I been telling you that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Now look at this. Nala, Sara, or Sar, Qala. Do you see the Alif in the Ain position?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is Ajwaf. What is the name for the Ain defective?
Ajwa.
Ajwaf. Right? Gorbachev. Remember Gorbachev? Yeah. Now, Khashiya, Da, Suru, is the Waw and Ya and Alif in the Lam kalima?
Yep.
In the Lam
Yes.
position?
Yeah.
So what we call them?
Al-Naqis.
An-Naqisu. Yes? Now, have you seen in the Quran the word Nawa?
Yeah.
Kawa.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you see the Waw and Ya is right next to each other?
Yep.
Are they are they weak letters?
Yes.
Yes.
So what do we call them? Al-Lafiful
Al-Latif
Makroon.
Lafiful Mafruq.
Makroon. First wala, Makroon. Look at this. Waw, Qaf, Ya, Waqa, and Wa'a. So over here in between, there is a difference between the Waw and the Ya. There is a gap because there is a letter in the middle.
Yes.
So what do we call it? Al-Lafiful.
Lafif al-Mafruq.
Lafiful Mafruq.
Is that making more sense now? Because now I'm repeating the same thing from different text.
Yes.
I have shown you the presentation. I have spoken about it. I have shown you on a piece of paper. And now I'm telling you from a book. So that again and again, this thing will start to sink in, inshallah. Okay. So now let's look at the rule. The Arabic verb, according to morphology, meaning when you change one verb into another one, can be classified into a sound and unsound. The sound verb is that in which all the root letters are sound, neither Hamza nor a weak letter or no doubling root letters. Isn't that what I've been telling you since the start of the class?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when there is no Hamza and there is no repeat root letters and there is no Huruf Illa, Waw and Ya, that verb is considered sound. If I say Nasara, is Nasara sound or unsound?
Sound.
Sound.
Sound, because there is no Hamza, there is no repeat letters, there is no weak letters. Agree?
Yes.
So as soon as we think about unsound words, we expect to see a Hamza, or we see a weak letter, Ya or Waw, or we see a double letter.
Mhm.
Agree?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, good. So now quickly look at this one here. Over here, we saw these things. What do we saw here? These variations, these conjugations of three different. Over here, the first one, the root, the Hamza in the Fa kalima. Agree?
Mhm.
Hamza, Fa kalima. Over here, where is the Hamza? Ain kalima.
Ain kalima.
Okay. And over here in this one, where is the Hamza?
Lam kalima.
Lam kalima. Have you seen the word qara'a in the Quran?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen the word dara'a?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen the word sa'ala?
Yes.
Yes.
Sa'ima?
Ta'ala sa'ilu bi'azabin waqi.
Now, with this knowledge, next time when you read the Quran and if you bump into one of these, you will know either it's mithal, is it mahmuz, it is ajwaf, it is naqis, it is lafif makroon or lafif mafruq. Yes. Now, from understanding the Quran, does it matter to you as a normal reader? Maybe not. But as a student of the Quran and want to get intimate with the Quran and get connected with the Quran, this knowledge will put you ahead of the people. Next time you can discuss with somebody or you can understand that why is Sa'ala and not something else? And what is the reason behind it? Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now it's 11 o'clock. I know I have drawn all your mental juice for one day or the beginning.
Wow.
So let's not worry. Go get some coffee. Let's meet in 10 minutes. Please don't disappear on me. We have the second session, which is even more interesting because we're going to delve into the Quran and look at some examples. And then we will take it from there. So I see you at 11:10, inshallah. So mute
Inshallah.
yourself and don't leave the meeting and come back, please. Okay, Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.
Okay. So alhamdulillah, let's start again. Is everybody back yet?
Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Okay, so I know that some of you or maybe all of you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but if you let it settle down a little bit, inshallah, this will become so easy and you will start to enjoy it, inshallah. Why? Because our intention is not to get scared or get discouraged by some little bit out of the box information. But if we put our mind to it and just digest this in small bits and pieces, then inshallah we will see that it will start to make sense. So from this moment onward, we are only going to focus on mahmoos for now. Just for the rest of the session, we are going to focus on mahmoos. And then inshallah we'll come back and we'll repeat the whole thing again, and then we will talk about each subject in detail. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how many people are like almost thinking that, oh, this is too much, or at least you think that 50% I'm okay with that? Give me some feedback before I continue. Brother Khalid, are you with us, Brother Khalid? Okay. Brother Ijaz? Looks like he's muted. He doesn't. Okay. Sisters, any sisters wants to say anything?
Alhamdulillah, so far. Yes, alhamdulillah.
All right.
I think it's a big concept, and you put it in nicely. You explained that table at the beginning. It helped me a lot to understand the full concept of this chapter. And then you, like if I was reading it from the text that you showed later, I wouldn't understand, but that table helped a lot. I know it's a big concept, but I personally feel good about it.
Alhamdulillah. Very good. This is a very good feedback, because for me, this is the first time I'm teaching it also. So you have to understand from my point of view that I'm also myself is a student. So this is not an easy concept to convey. It takes a lot of patience and this planning I've been doing from last 4 weeks, like this presentation putting together what was not easy. So that is why I have to rely on so many these resources to tell you something. But as I said, this is our first time. By this time we are in it, session 2, session 3, this thing will start to sink in, inshallah. Okay, so today I just want you to take the big picture. We call it bird's eye view, meaning you know what we are trying to do. We are trying to learn the weak verbs, and the 3 criteria in front of us is the Hamza, the double letters, and the weak letters. If that concept sinks in already, then half the battle is won. Agree?
Yes.
Inshallah.
So now let's look at some examples from the Quran. So, Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. We're dealing with mahmoos. And in mahmoos, what are we looking for? Hamza. Hamza in the Quran is written with alif with a haraka on it. How many harakas we have? Fatha, Dhamma, and Kasra.
Kasra.
Okay. So in this verse, La yatakallamuna illa man adhina lahu ar-Rahmanu wa qala sawaba. Where is it from? Suratun
Naba.
Naba. And azina, is it with the Hamza?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it in the fa letter? Fa
Yes.
position?
Yes.
So azina, is it a verb?
What?
Yes.
It is a verb. So what kind of verb is it? Weak verb.
Weak word.
It is the unsound verb. Why? I detected Hamza in the fa location already.
Brother
Yes.
Abid, what about illa? That also comes with the Hamza.
That's right. But we are only focusing on the underlying word right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
the other
focus
thing
on
is
the underlying word.
illa
Yeah.
is not a verb.
Yeah, but illa
And
is not a
illa
verb.
is
Brother
not
Khalid,
a verb.
Jazakallah khair. So illa is not a verb. Yes, that's a good explanation.
Mm-hmm. So the Hamza is unsound word because we do not pronounce Hamza.
Say that again, Sister John.
The Hamza, it's an unsound word, the Hamza in the Azina.
Unsound verb.
Unsound verb.
Yes.
Yes. It's because we only pronounce alif and we do not pronounce Hamza?
No, we pronounce Hamza, but Hamza normally has a haraka on it. Right? Is azina.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
So it's nothing to do with that. We are saying that azina is a verb because it is showing some action, and meaning of this action is permission. They will not speak except the one who is permitted by the beneficent, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he will speak aright. So permitted is a past tense. So azina is on the pattern of either hasiba or samia, if you remember from the previous class, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
So it's a past tense, azina. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Now look at the next verse. Azina is siga number 1, meaning for the male. Who's gonna permission? Allah. Who's the file? Huwa. Huwa is who? Allah. Get it?
Yeah.
Now look at this. Wa azinat li rabbiha wa huqqat. Look at this. Wa azinat. What is azinat? Isn't it the same thing as azina, but for the female?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You guys see now what I'm saying? Azina was for male. For azinat for female. And where is the Hamza? In the fa position.
Yep.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at this. So right now, look at the high level. Don't go too much into detail. All I'm trying to show you that how many times this kind of situation happened in the Quran. But up till now, we never paid attention because we didn't know what Mahmuz was.
Right.
Now we know Mahmuz and we are trying to find Mahmuz in the Quran.
Okay.
Right? And Mahmuz you will find in the verbs because that's what we are learning. Yeah? So, alam ta'lamu anna aba'akum qad akhaza alaykum mawsikam min Allah. Do you not know that your father had taken an undertaking from you in the name of Allah? Akhiza mean taken, had taken. Is akhiza a mahmuz verb?
Yes.
Yes.
Is mahmuz because it's in the fa position.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am showing you the examples from the Quran itself where this situation occurs. So look at sa'ala. Sa'ala mean a questioner asked. The meaning of sa'ala is asked. Okay. हम बोलते हैं उर्दू में सवाल करना किसी से. What is सवाल? You're asking somebody something. So sa'ala mean asked. Who asked? He asked. Over here there is sa'ilum. So we cannot say that it's huwa. It's actually the real file is sa'ilum. That somebody asked. A questioner asked. Right? Making sense?
Yeah.
So sa'ala, what is the position of Hamza in this verb?
Fa.
Ayn kalima.
And kalima.
Ayn kalima, right? Okay. Look at this. Fa'iza qara'ta al-Qur'ana fasta'iz billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Isn't that the verse from the Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that when you recite Quran, seek the protection of Allah. That's why we say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim in the beginning of reading Quran. Any questions on that? Okay, no worries. Okay, so these are some of the examples I wanted to show you. Now let me take you to my camera and look at here. If we have al-failul mahmus, then can we have al-fa, al-ain, and al-lam? Yes?
Yes.
Right? And the example of al-fa, meaning the hamza in the position of fa letter is ain, mim, ra. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Then sin, hamza, lam, where is the hamza letter? In the ain position. Okay. And al-lam, qaf, ra, hamza. Where is the position of
Lam position. Lam
Lam.
position.
So can we have anything other than this? Can we have any other situation? We either gonna have a fa position or ain position or lam position. Agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not more than that, right?
No.
Okay. Now, why do we have to learn this? Because we said when we are going to do the conjugation can change if is a Hamza in there somewhere. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if that happens, how do we know what to change? How do we know what to change? Then we would have to learn the rules of Mahmuz. What do we have to learn?
The rules.
Rules of
Rules of
Mahmuz.
Mahmuz. Okay, so the name for the rules of Mahmuz are known as takhfif. What are the meaning? Takhfif.
Takhfif.
Now, if you know the tajweed, there is another rule of tajweed called ikhfa. What is the meaning of ikhfa?
Ikhfa.
To hide.
Hide.
It is
To hide.
hidden.
Okay.
Makhfi.
So there is a noon, but we hide it. We don't say the noon properly. We hide it. Yes, that is why it's called ikhfa. It's called tajweed rule ikhfa.
Ikhfa.
Now, in order to, in contrast to ikhfa, there is another tajweed rule called izhar. Izhar. Yes.
Yeah.
In that izhar, you make the noon sound.
Clear.
Yes. Okay. So the rules of Mahmuz are takfif. What are the rules? The name is takfif. Now the word takfif means you are either going to hide something or you're going to replace. Now, what are we dealing with? Hamza, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We are either going to hide the Hamza or we are going to replace the Hamza. Making sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the rules of takfif are either replace Hamza with a weak letter or replace Hamza altogether. Making sense? Brother Murad?
Yes.
Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Everybody else, if I don't take
Yes.
your name. So the good news for you is this. The changes only happen when you have the Hamza in the fa position. If you have to learn the rules of Mahmuz, you should not worry about when the Hamza comes in the Ain letter or Ain position or Lam position. Is that a good news?
Yes.
It is a good news because now I only have to focus that if as soon as I see a Hamza in the fa position, I can apply the rule of takhfif. Agree? This silence is not good. Where is Brother Ijaz? How come Brother Ijaz went silent? That's
Making coffee.
Yeah, oh, no, my mic was mute. I'm saying yes, but my mic was muted.
So we can't let you
Sorry
mute,
about that.
Brother Ijaz.
Sorry about that.
You are the lifeline of this class. So when nobody
Thank you,
speaks, okay. So all I'm saying now that when you have to apply the rule of takhfif, the only thing you should be concerned about that if the Hamza happens to be in the fa position. If the Hamza is in the Ain position and Lam position, we're not going to worry about it.
Yes,
Agree?
agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Brother Abid,
Ji bhai.
at first one, which we are dealing with, like alpha.
Yeah.
So where is the Hamza position? At fa position, where is, I mean, it's a alpha, Hamza is at the end. And
No,
how
Hamza
you
is in the
explain
beginning.
it?
Yes. See. Oh, no, not this Hamza. No, don't confuse yourself.
Okay.
I'm saying that when you are dealing with the fail, you have the fa position, you have the Ain position, and you have the Lam position. Correct?
Yeah.
For the fa position, I gave you these three root letters. You have to look at here. And the Hamza is in the fa position. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamza is
That's
in
right.
the Ain position. Hamza is in the Lam position. Okay?
Yeah, that's so.
Right? So
Yeah.
we are saying that when you find Hamza in the Ain, the fa position, then you have to apply the rule of takhfif. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, another set of information you need to keep in mind. What we have been learning in the last 12 sessions? We've been learning Salasi Mujarrad. What is the meaning of Salasi Mujarrad? Only the 3 root letters. Verbs. Yes? Now, when we were learning the 3 root letter verbs, did we talk about the 6 families?
Yes. Nasara, Daraba.
Remember? Nasara, Daraba, Fataha, Sami'a, Karuma. Yes?
Yes.
Do we remember these? Nasara,
Yeah.
Daraba, Fataha, Sami'a, Hasiba, Karuma.
Yes.
Everybody else?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
So what are we trying to do? We are trying to apply the rule of Taqfif, considering the fact that we are dealing with Salasi Mujarrad and we are dealing with these 6 families. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. So if I give you the root letters Hamza, Mim, and Noon, then I tell you this Bab Samia, then it will become Amina, Ya'manu. Who agrees with me on this?
Yes.
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 Is that number 1 for Madi? And if this is number 1 for Mudare?
Yes.
Yes. Now, what is our goal normally? We have to do this. Where did I put my stuff? Okay, here. Whenever we have the root letters, don't we have to make these tables for Madi and Mudare?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So, if you make
These are
this,
very important. We must focus on these and learn all these, and then
Right.
we can. These are very
You're right,
important
brother
because we are applying everywhere.
yes, because now you will understand that on day 1, why did I say that? You should
Yes.
know this. You should know this as you know the back of your hand. Yes.
Exactly.
Because without understanding these, anything further you're going to learn, you're going to stumble upon and say, hey, it doesn't make any sense to me. Right? So if you have to take Amina, have to put into Mudare or Madi, Amana, Amanu, Amana, Amanu, Amanat, Amanata, Amanna. Making sense?
Yeah.
All I'm doing, I'm putting these root words into this pattern. Right?
Yeah.
Now guess what happens? The good thing about Al-Fa or the Mahmud Al-Fa is that when you have the root words in the position of Fa, the past tense conjugation does not change. What happens? Can somebody repeat that for me?
Past tense conjugation does not change.
So do you have to worry about the past tense conjugation for Mahmud Al-Fa?
No.
No. So is anybody making notes of these rules? If you're not taking
sending it out,
look at this.
So,
For 3 root letter verbs, there is no change in the past tense. So Mahmud Al-Fa or Mahmud is the easiest one so far. Okay, so when you're dealing with Salasi Mujarrad, meaning you're only dealing with these 6 families, what we learned in detail in the last 12 sessions, the past tense for Mahmud Al-Fa will have no change. Agree?
Yeah.
So you will go ahead and put Amana, Amana, Amanu, Amanat, Amanata, Amanna, Amanta, Amantuma, Amantum, Amanti, Amantuma, Amantunna, Amantu, Amanna. Okay. Now I said it from my mind. I did not write it down. Follow? All I'm saying is that the reason I said all this so quickly. Brother Khalid, we can hear you. Can you please mute yourself?
Yeah, बीमार थी थोड़ा पेट में तो अपना कैंसर हो गया था शायद.
Any questions so far? Any questions?
No. So you said
No, we are okay.
It's okay.
Thank you.
So Homa, you had a question?
no. Yeah, just wondering. You said in the past it doesn't change. In present it does. Correct?
Okay, we didn't talk about present yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I said Mahmuzul Fa is the only thing we need to concern about. And then I said we do not need to concern about Ain and the Lam for Mahmuz. Yes?
Yes.
So we had the one good news. The second good news, when it's Madi for Mahmuzul Fa, no need to worry. It's going to be identical to the way it's supposed to be for the sound verbs. Agree?
Yes.
Now, in the Mudare, up to the Siga number 12, nothing will change. The third good news. Only the part which will change will be Af'alu, Naf'alu.
Oh.
Okay? Is everybody with me on that? In
Yes.
the Mudare, for Fa, the only Siga you need to worry about is number 13 and number 14. Tell me if you understand that part. Okay. So Siga number 13.
Yes.
What is Siga number 13? Amanu.
Manu.
Okay. Okay. But before understanding that, look at the actual Siga. Af'alu. Is Af'alu the Siga number 13?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Look at the root words. Hamza, Mim, Noon. Yes?
Mhm.
Hamza, Mim, Noon. Now, if you put the Hamza, Mim, Noon in Afalu, look what will you end up. You have the Alif. You see, the Alif is coming from here. Yes?
Yeah.
The
Manu.
fa letter is Hamza. Yes?
Yeah.
And is the Hamza Sakin? Because the Fa is Sakin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this Hamza is Sakina. Yes? What is the Ain letter? Mim?
Yeah.
Mim.
We put Mim. What is the Haraka on the Mim?
Fatha.
Fatha.
And what is the Lam letter? Noon.
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 What is the Haraka on the Noon?
Dhamma.
Dhamma.
Amma.
Look at this. It's become Amana. Is the
Amanu.
Manu.
situation here? Do you see there is a Hamza Sakina here?
Yeah.
Okay. But have you seen in the Quran Amana like this?
No.
No.
In the Quran, you will see like this. Amana. Okay. Now, how did this become this? That is the rule of takhfif. Okay. And that is what we are going to understand today. And again, I don't expect you to know it by heart today, but inshallah, with practice, we are going to know how we got this alif with the standing line here. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah.
So now let me tell you on a clear piece of paper, what is the meaning of this?
Brother Abid, I will leave now because I have to go for booster. And
Okay.
I will join, go through your lecture and
Inshallah.
the remaining part of this session, inshallah.
Inshallah, not a problem. Jazakallah khair, brother Ijaz.
Send me this, and so that when I come back, then I'll
I
go
will.
through this.
Inshallah, not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
So guys, this is a little bit technical, but once you get it, you will feel happy that this will become like solving a puzzle. Okay. So in the Quran, if you see this alif with the standing line, that technically means that there is a fatha and there is a alif. Okay. So I'm trying to decode this now for you. That if you see a alif with the standing line, technically that means there is a fatha and there is a alif. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Now, can you write the fatha also like this? Yes.
Yeah.
And then this alif is already alif. Yes.
Yeah.
This combination can be written like this in the Quran. In
Yes.
the Quran, depending on which country you're from, you will either find the alif with the standing line, or you will find this. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so now look at this. It was technically supposed to be Hamza with the Fatha, then there is Hamza with the Sakina and Manu. This is Siga number 13, Mudare. And this is the rule of Takhfif, that Amana become with the standing alif and become Amanu. Now, is this equal to this?
Yes.
So would you rather write it like this, or you'd like it write it like this?
The first
The
one,
first one.
the right one.
MashaAllah. Now, remember this. I said to you, the rule of Takhfif is you replace the Hamza with a weak letter.
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
Is Alif a weak letter?
Yes.
Okay. Is Ya a weak letter?
Yes.
Is Waw a weak letter?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about the Haraka. When you see a Fatha, the Fatha translate into Alif.
Alif.
When you see a Dhamma, the Dhamma translate into
Wow.
Wow.
When you see a Kasra, it translate into
Yeah.
Ya. Okay. So if in a verb we have two Hamza, the first one with Haraka and the second one is Sakun, then we replace it with weak letter.
Hmm.
What is the rule? Now, tell me, in this situation, is Amana, is Alif with the Fatha is also called Hamza?
Yes.
And is the Hamza Sakina is also Hamza?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so do we have a situation that we have two Hamza?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and in the situation, the first Hamza has a Haraka,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, and the second is Sakun.
Sukun.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So this will become from
Uh,
this to Alif with the standing line. Agree?
Hmm.
Yes.
That is why we got Amanu.
Yeah.
Making
Brother,
sense?
can I ask
Yes.
a question? Sorry.
Yes, yes.
So I'm a bit confused here. So in Arabic, there is Aleph, Ya, Waw, which is vowels, and Hamza is another letter, correct?
Yes, Hamza is a letter, but Hamza is also written with the Alif with some Haraka on it. Okay,
Okay.
so let's think about it. Let's think about it. So if I say, Sister Homa, this is Hamza, that's what is this? This is Hamza with the Fatha.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If I say Hamza with the Dhamma, then it is yes.
Yes.
And then similarly, Hamza with the Kasra is yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I ask you this, that can I write this Hamza Fatha like this? Can I write it like this? Because what is the root letter for Fatha? Alif. Agree?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. If I have Hamza with the Dhamma, what is the root letter for Dhamma?
Wow.
Okay. Now, if I have Hamza with the Kasra, what is the root letter for Kasra?
Yeah.
Okay. That is why we are saying that when you are dealing with Hamza in the Fa position, you are technically applying the rule of Takhfif, and the rule of Takhfif says that sometime you are going to replace the Hamza with the weak letter. Agree? And sometime you will replace the Hamza altogether.
Hmm.
Today, in a brief effort, I have shown you that how did I got from this version of Amana to this version Amanu.
Okay.
And
So
I try to explain to you.
yeah. So the
why
Aleph that you put there, the first one is Aleph with Fatha, and the
Yeah.
second one is Hamza with Sukun, yes?
Yes.
So the first one, it's a Alif letter, and the second one is Hamza letter, correct?
Yes. So this is what it is. So I was saying that if this is Fatha, and this is also Hamza, and this is also Hamza, but this is Sukun, right? Isn't it like this? Right? Hamza with the Fatha, and then Hamza with the Sukun. So what do I need to do? I need to apply the rule of Takhfif. Yes? What is the rule of Takhfif? I need to get rid of this Hamza with a weak letter. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
How many weak letters I have? Alif,
3.
Waw, and Ya. Yes?
Yeah.
Now what is the haraka on the Hamza?
Fatha.
Fatha. So what is my choice? Alif. Yes?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to put Alif here. But does it look nice to write 2 alifs like this?
No.
No. So simply you write it like this.
Okay.
Or you write it like this. So you understand now why in the Quran you sometimes see it like this or sometimes like this. Now next time when you see it, you know that the rules of Takhfif have been applied on this letter because it was Mahmuzul Fa.
All right. Okay.
Is that making sense to everyone now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
This is round 1.
A question here, Brother
Yes.
Abid. When you write mud, there are 3 types of mud. One is 3. You stretch it 3 times, then 5 times, and 7 times. What's the difference between those two? That was 3. Because here is only there are 2 alifs, so it will be stretched only 2 times.
So Brother Khalid, I think what you're talking about is the rule of Tajweed. I'm only telling you the rule of grammar. I am saying that in the different Qurans, this kind of concept will either be translated by putting a straight line on the alif or with the mud. Okay. Now, based on the Tajweed rules,
that's my question. So when there are 2 alifs, then we don't write mud. The mud is only when there are 3 alif are there, and that's where the difference comes. And I don't know what is the difference for 3 alif, where that 3 alif comes up, or 5 or 7.
So for the sake of clarity and not confusing anybody, all I'm trying to say, live in the context I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the context of Mahmuzul Fa, and I'm saying the rule of Mahmuzul Fa is you have to do Takhfif. And in the Takhfif, you have 2 things. You either going to replace the Hamza with a weak letter, or you're going to replace the weak letter altogether, or Hamza altogether. Okay. And when I'm doing the mathematics here to show you that how I got from this to this is how the grammar people have explained it to me. So we need to just accept it and move on for now. Yeah. Yeah. Brother Khalid?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's stick with the context and the concept. Okay. And I'm trying to do this first session as a, first of all, we have been coming back after a long time, so our brains may not be the same capacity. Also, we're trying to put the concept on the piece of paper. It's going to slowly sink in and then it'll start to make sense. So let's summarize what we have learned today. We have learned what is the difference between a sound verb and unsound verb. Okay. We also learned that anytime I encounter in the root words or root letters a Hamza, a repeat letter, or a weak letter, I know that this is a unsound verb. Is that so far? I think everybody should have no problem with that.
Yes.
Right? That's a high level concept. Yes, no problem there. Do we need to memorize misal, ajwaf? That is secondary. We can always get into that on the second session. The third thing was, why do we need to worry about weak letters? Why? Because when we do the conjugations can be different for these kind of situation when you have a Hamza, or when you have a repeat letter, or when you have a weak letter. That's the second high level concept. Did we understand that?
Yes.
Yes. The third concept was that, okay, when we focus on Mahmuzul Fa, that's the only verb which there some changes will happen in the conjugation. Agree? We will Mahmuzul Lam and Mahmuzul Ain, we're not going to worry about it. Yes? Okay. Then the third thing we said that we are dealing with Salasi Mujarrad. And in the Salasi Mujarrad, we know that the Mazi, all 14 variations, there will be no change. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
But in the Mudare, only the 13, Siga number 13 and Siga number 14 will have minor changes. And in that minor changes, you will apply the rule of takhfif. And when you think about takhfif, you are either going to replace the Hamza with a weak letter, or you're going to replace the Hamza altogether. So today we have looked at the situation where we replace the Hamza with a weak letter. Yes. And the rules for replacing it, when you have Hamza with the Fatha, the replacement for weak letter will be Alif. When you have Hamza with the Dhamma, the replacement will be Wow.
Oh,
When you have the Hamza with the Kasra, the replacement will be Ya.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will find sometime you will find Amanu, right? And then you also find Iman. Iman will be like this, right? Where is the Iman coming from? Because there was a Hamza with the Kasra. So what is the weak letter replacing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that making sense now? Or at least you got some idea what's going on?
Yes.
Ji.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Okay, so once
so
I
when you-
send you,
So when
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
replace the Ya, how do you
Yeah.
write Iman?
I wrote it right here, right? That will be like Iman, right?
Oh, so that's how it's written.
Depending
Okay.
on, yeah, so depending on how, but the important point to remember is
Mm-hmm.
when you have Hamza and you also have Hamza after it, one with the Hamza and one with the Sukoon, then you apply these rules, right?
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do with two Hamza right next to each other? You don't know what to do with it. You have to get rid of one.
Hmm.
And in order to get rid of one, you apply the rules. And you apply this, that if there is a haraka, you look at the haraka and you replace the Hamza with that letter.
Right.
So it will become Hamza with the Alif. Because Alif is the representative of Fatah. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, yes.
Brother Fahad, are you with me?
Yes, brother.
Are you following the concept, what's going on?
Yes, yes.
Alhamdulillah. So
So
looks like
basically, this is the first siga of Salasi Mazid fi Babe Ifal. Amana.
Baba Ifal, no, we are still looking at Fa'ala, right? It's Yamanu, Afalu.
Afala, yeah. So it's the same thing as a Aman.
One second. Yeah, the Siga we looked at was, I don't have it here anymore. Let me see if I can open my presentation. It was basically this one. Okay. So this is the Mahdi one, right? Mr. Lubna?
Mutakallam, yeah.
This is the Mazi one. Now, what did we say that the Mazi, there is no change?
Yes.
Let me get rid of this. And okay. So if I show you this slide, this is the Failul Mahmuz Mahdi. Now in Mahdi, no change. We just put everything the way it is. Okay?
Yes.
But look in the Amanu, the pattern here. It is the Alif with the straight line.
Yeah. So basically, the Amana is one. Amana is a root word, 3, and then the A is a harfi atan from Mazare.
Yes. So if you look at my camera again, okay, let me see if I can show you this. So look at this.
Yes.
There is a Alif or Hamza with the Fatha sign, and there is a Hamza Sakina. So how
Yes.
does it become? It becomes Hamza with the fatha sign. And what is the root letter for fatha? Alif.
Alif.
And then alif can be now written instead of these two. It can be right with the mud or with the standing line. Yes. And when you have the dhamma and you have the sakina, so what is the letter dhamma representing? What letter is representing? Wow.
Wow.
So it becomes u. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Look at this. With the kasra, what is the representation of kasra in a letter? Yeah. So that become e. Follow?
Yes. Mad is a different. Mad is a tajweed rule.
Yeah, mad is a tajweed rule. Oh,
Yeah,
we are at
that's-
11:52. Let me quickly, I want to cover the little bit of the Quran here. So can we quickly go over some of these verses? Okay. So inshallah, after the class, I'm going to send you all the material and we are going to repeat this again next week. And inshallah, you practice in the meantime and you will realize that it will start to make sense. So the verses I took today is from the Surah Anfal. And the meaning of Anfal is the spoils of war. And in the second verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the people who have remembrance of Allah, dhikr of Allah. Yeah. Now, we do dhikr of Allah, but now let's look at what message Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us in these verses. So as we do this all the time, let's just quickly read through it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم. Do we recognize wajilat?
Yes.
The verb. Siga
Verb.
number 4.
4.
Right? Because kulub, let's look at the translation. Innama means only. Al-mu'minuna is the believers. Al-lazina mean are those who. Iza mean when. Zukir Allahu, when the zikr of Allah is mentioned to them. What happened to their hearts? They feel fear in their hearts. What do they fear? What do they feel?
Fear.
Wajilat. Wajilat means they find or they feel the fear of Allah in their hearts. Wa idha tuliyat alayhim ayatuhu. What is tuliyat? From tilawa. Recited. जब हम कुरान पढ़ते हैं तो हम क्या कहते हैं कि तिलावत की हम. Tuliyat mean when they recited what? Zikr of Allah mean when the verses of Allah or the Quran are recited to them. Ayatuhu, his verses. Zadathum. Urdu में ज़्यादा क्या होता है? What is ज़्यादा? Increase. Zadathum. They increase them in iman. Imanau. Sister Jihan, you see the word iman here?
Yes.
What is the Hamza here? What is the harakah of the Hamza? Kasra.
Kasra, yeah.
Kasra
So it's
will
replaced by
translate. Yeah, mashallah. If you take the ya out of here, if you think in your mind, there was a Hamza Sakina here. Everybody can see that now, Brother Murad? Sister Homa?
Absolutely.
So this ya, technically, it was the alif, Hamza or Hamza with the sukoon on it. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so now the ya is coming because of the rule of takhfif. And the rule of takhfif was you replace the Hamza with a weak letter. And the weak letter for kasra is ya. Okay, so what happens when the zikr of Allah is done? They feel the fear of Allah in their heart. And when the ayahs of the Quran or the signs of Allah are mentioned to them or recited to them, it increases their iman. وَعَلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. And upon their Lord, they put their trust. Can we relate to this verse? When you are remembering Allah, when you read in Quran, and when the Quran is making sense to you, is your iman going up or down?
Up.
Is your heart trembling with love and fear? Are you feeling closer to Allah?
Yes.
And there are two kind of people. One kind of people whose hearts are hard. When their zikr of Allah is done, they go to the other direction. They go far away from Allah, like the kuffar of Makkah. Doesn't matter what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, they always took it in the negative way. Correct? Did their iman increases or decreases? They get more stubborn, or they get more full of iman?
Full of
Yes?
stubborn.
So they become stubborn because whoever heart Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not open for Islam, they went the other way. They went in the opposition of it. While the other people like Hazrat Bilal and Hazrat Ali and Hazrat Usman and mashallah, a bunch of other Sahabas, when these same things were recited to them, it increased their iman. Yes?
Yes.
So there is a message for us here. The believers are only those who, when Allah is mentioned, their hearts become fearful, and when his verses are recited to them, it increases them in iman. And upon their Lord, they trust. Now we should say that, Ya Allah, we want to be among this group. Why? Because when the zikr of Allah is happened in front of us and we are reminded of his signs, and if our heart does not change, or if we are not paying attention to any of that, then what is wrong with our hearts? That our heart, unfortunately, is getting in a direction which is away from the qualities of a believer. Agree?
Yes.
Agree?
Yes. Yes.
So, inshallah, we want to be part of this group. We want to make sure that when the zikr of Allah is done in front of us, our hearts feels the presence of Allah with both fear and hope. And when we are reminded by the verses of Allah, our iman should increase. And then we should put more trust in Allah. If we are feeling hopeless, we become hopeful. If we are feeling distant from Allah, we feel closer to Allah. Yes? And for that, what we have to do? We have to continue the zikr of Allah. Now, having this class for 2 hours, was that part of zikr of Allah?
Yes.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Because you're learning the intimate things about Quran. Now, let's look at the next word. Allazina yuqimuna as-salata wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. And then what happens to these people? These are the same people, then they establish the salah, and whatever we have provided them, they spend out of it. Do we do this? Do we do this, guys? Do we establish salah?
Yes.
And do we do charity left and right?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Now,
Yes.
do you think is everybody is doing that? Is everybody praying even though they are Muslims? Or is everybody charitable even though they are Muslims?
Maybe not.
No, maybe not. But this is the blessing that if we are among that group, we should be happy. Why? Because the fear of Allah and the hope of Allah is in our heart. When we are connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, now look, what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving the certificate to them? He's saying, Daika humul mu'minuna haqqa. Those people are the true believers. Who's saying this?
Allah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is
subhanahu wa ta'ala.
confirming that if you have these characteristics, that when my zikr is given to you and you are reminded by my verses, and your iman increases, and you put your trust in me, and you establish salah, and you do the charity, then you are the true believers. Do you need anybody else certificate to prove that to you?
No.
Does that make you feel happy?
Yes.
Yes.
Lahum darajatun inda rabbihim wa maghfiratun wa rizqun kareem. So in near Allah, for them are the ranks, and there is forgiveness, and there is the best provision, noble provision. You hear that, guys? You're reading Quran, and the Quran is talking to you. Now, I know one thing for sure, that by now, most of these things you understood without me explaining it to you, or without even doing the translation to you, because we know that what mu'minuna means. We know what is the wajilat. We also know what tuliyat. We know what kulubuhum. We know what ayatuhu. Alhamdulillah, we understand all of these words. And now we also know the meaning. And now, not only the meaning, it's actually, I feel more connected because I understand it directly, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to me. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So inshallah, with these 3 verses, I leave you with the best of iman. And if you feel like reading the tafsir, inshallah, go to the tafsir tab here and you can read the tafsir. We could not look into our details here, but you have this tool. You guys can always go ahead and look at this tool and see the different details. Looks like it's not working. Let's see. Okay. And then also we have this tool, which you have access to, and I will reshare it for the new people. So inshallah, you will be able to get in a lot of detail about these things. So anything correct I said is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything wrong I said is purely my fault. Please forgive me. And I hope that you find the session beneficial. There was a lot of information, but I'm sure that most of you are walking away for at least 50% or better understanding of the subject matter. So jazakallahu khairan, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. See you next time inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Jazakallah khair.